Hey guys, it's me Vanessa. I want to make a video for my week 111 post-op VSG surgery. Back in January of 2014, I was at my highest weight of 280 pounds. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which is a weight loss surgery, on March 13th of 2017 at 235.2 pounds. And as of this morning, I am at 152.8 pounds, which is a loss of 1 pound this week, a total loss since surgery of 82.4, and a loss of 127.2 from my very highest weight. Now this week, I want to talk about a few things. The main thing is that I'm actually starting phase 3 of 80-day obsession. I only have 6 weeks left. I have 4 weeks of phase 3. I have peak week, which is only 1 week, and then I have a little more obsessed, which is an add-on of an extra week after. So 6 weeks, my goal for the next 6 weeks is to focus on nutrition. This phase 2 was the hardest for me as far as nutrition. I was craving a lot of foods. I did not stick to a strict diet like I did the first phase, and so I can tell the difference. But also, phase 2 is a building phase, so I got hungrier. I started half marathon training, so I've had a lot of changes this month, or this past month, and so I can see where my nutrition went wrong and why. And so my main goal is just to fix it this last 6 weeks, go out with a bang, make sure that I get the best results I could possibly get. And I'm now getting closer to 150, so I'm happy that I'm going back down. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm getting closer. And so, you know, my maintenance range right now is just 150, between 150 and 155, and I'm still within that range, but I want to make it under 150. And so that's my huge goal. Now, I do want to talk about triggers. The one thing that I've learned throughout this journey is you really have to learn your body and your brain. And so one of the things that has helped me to overcome binge eating has been to learn pretty much what my triggers are and to avoid those triggers. And so today I want to talk about identifying triggers, how to do it, and what to do after you realize that a certain food is a trigger. So for me, throughout my journey, I've learned, you know, there are certain foods that give me this like dopamine response that make me happy, and then I obsess about those certain foods. So one example that I always share is graham crackers. So it was a few months ago, actually I think it was even last year, I had bought graham crackers. This is something that I've always wanted. I love graham crackers. They're one of my favorites, especially anything with cinnamon. And so I bought, you know, a box of graham crackers thinking, oh, this will last me quite a while. Well, I had gone through 2 full sleeves of graham crackers in 2 days. And there was another incident where I had cookies. I bought like these, they were called unicorn cookies. They were kind of like the fudge stripe round cookies that you get, I think it's Keebler that makes them. And I had eaten 8 cookies within 2 days. And so recently I had found another trigger, and it was in our local grocery store, Edeka. We have this Russian section of just Russian goodies and foods and stuff. And so I had picked out these cookies when we went to France, because we were going to Normandy, France for a few days, and then we were going around Paris. And so we had prepped some snacks and breakfast items to bring with us for the trip because we were driving. And so I had wanted to try these cookies because I saw them, so I picked them up, and they're so good. I actually ate quite a few of them. It didn't register to me though that it was a trigger, because it was, you know, where we were eating just random stuff. We were on vacation, so I wasn't really watching my diet. I was just working on, you know, pretty much enjoying myself. And then when I got back from vacation, then I was gonna focus more on healthy eating and getting the weight off that I had gained during vacation. So I had the cookies, enjoyed them, and so just recently I had rebought them because I was thinking, oh, it'd be perfect with some tea. I would really like to have some cookies with tea. And so the first day that I tried the cookies, I was only going to eat one. I went to go get one. I was eating it. It was actually after I had finished my AM snack one day during the week. And then I wanted another one. So I just, not thinking about it, I just grabbed a second one. That whole day, I had thought about those cookies, and I had returned after my PM snack to have 2 more. Then the next day, I wanted 2 more. And then after that, at night, I wanted 2 more. And so I had told my family, you need to get them out of the house. I am obsessing about them. I want them all the time. I can't stop just at one cookie. And it's not one of these foods that I can just eat and be done with it for a few weeks. I was obsessing about it on when is my next fix. That's how it felt, right? So they ate some of the cookies, but they didn't bring it with them. So there were 2 left, and I ate those last 2 on the 3rd day. So I had 10 cookies in 3 days. And the only reason I only had 10 was because the pack is not that big. Like, you can't overeat on them because there's not that many to overeat on. So I had decided that is the 3rd food that I just cannot have in the house. I can never have it again. Now, if I were to go like to a party and I would purchase those things and then bring it there and it wouldn't be at home, that's not a big deal. I'm talking about just in my home, eating them, because I would eat the whole pack by myself for sure. And I even have this problem with those oatmeal cream cookies by Little Debbie. But the problem with those, well, it's not a problem. I thank God that I have this issue. I can't eat too many of them or I will get sick. So the max that I've been able to eat is like 1.5 to 2 cookies each day. So that one, I remember when I was way before surgery, I was able to eat like a whole box by myself, literally a whole box by myself. Not in one day, but in a few days, I could eat a whole box. The same thing happened to me with cheese. Like, now a lot of cheese makes me sick. So I have to only have like 2 or 3 slices max. But before, I would go through a whole sleeve in one day of 11 to 12 slices. So learning those triggers is what's most important. Don't feel like a failure because you are triggered with certain foods. The first thing you have to remember, right, is that the companies make foods to be addictive. They want you to keep buying them. And so they're going to add a lot of sugar, they're going to add a lot of fat and processed items into these foods to make you want them more and more because it makes them money, right? So when you think about binge eating, you don't think people eating fruits and vegetables and binging on fruits and vegetables, right? It's usually prepackaged foods, foods that have been manufactured and chemically altered, right? And so when you're looking at triggers, usually the triggers are junk food, or over processed foods. And so you just have to learn, as you go. Cheez-Its used to be a huge trigger for me before surgery. Now it's not so much, where I can have a little bit of Cheez-Its and I won't touch them for weeks on end, right? But there's other things that do trigger. And so what you have to do is you have to, first of all, find out what that trigger is. And usually you will tell. You can tell right away what that trigger is because it's when you have them and let's say you just have a portion of it, right? And you just stick to that portion. That's not a trigger. If you have a portion and you're thinking about already having more and more and more right after, and then it's like every minute of the hour you're thinking about that certain food, that is what I consider a trigger. And so those type of foods you have to pick out and weed out and find out what triggers overeating or binges or wanting more and more. And then you have to eliminate those and not have them again, because it's easier to say no than to give in a little bit and then have to say no after that. And so there are just, like I said, certain foods that I just do not allow myself to have or keep in the house. And then once you avoid those triggers, it makes it easier then to not overeat and overindulge. And that's the one thing that I found out, we're all different. Certain triggers are different for certain people. So like my triggers are not necessarily yours. Some people are triggered with chips. Others are triggered with ice cream. sodas, all these different items. It depends on, what your trigger is. This is what you need to decide. And it's trial and error. And that's the one thing you have to understand is that this journey is not black and white. It's not like good or bad. It is you make a mistake and then you learn from it and then you put actions into place to kind of avoid that happening again. And so that is the most important thing. Once you realize that you didn't fail, you're not bad for what you did. You just had a little bump in the road, you made a mistake, and then now you need to learn from that mistake. And me learning from my mistake was that I just cannot buy those cookies again. And I decided just not to buy them again. And it's not bad. It's I don't buy them again, I don't have the problem again, and then I'm back on track. And so if you keep that in mind, that will make you more successful, and then you will feel stronger about making your next choice. And I always say, have a good balanced diet. I eat lots of fruits and vegetables. I eat lean protein and whole grains. I have a well-balanced diet. I even eat healthy fats. And if you're ever interested in what I eat in a day, I have posted a few. I posted for my 3, 6, 9 month. And then I also posted for a year. And then there's 2 of them that are like a year and a half. And then one is like 2 years out. So you can always search for those. Just do Cessa Lopez, what I eat in a day, and it will pop up in your search. But yeah, I make sure that I eat a balanced diet. I've been working on, if I do enjoy treats here and there, that I do eat healthy in between, because I found that if I just eat junk all day, for one, I feel like crap, right? Especially when I have to work out that day. But also I end up eating more junk if I don't balance it out with healthy eating. And so I finally found that balance, and it feels good. It really does. But you guys take care. I just wanted to add this in because a lot of us have food addiction, and this is the one thing that I found that has worked for me for maintenance, even through weight loss. I don't cut anything out of my diet other than triggers. Things that I cannot control. I drink soda. I have a soda once a week. No big deal, because I can stick with one soda once a week. If it were to turn into a soda every single day, or a soda, like 2 sodas a day, then that would be considered a trigger, and that's a food that I would avoid. But because I can have it occasionally and I can enjoy it here and there, it's no big deal. I also don't buy them by the 12 pack. I buy them individually. So that makes a huge difference. But it's really about learning your triggers and learning what works for you, and then what you can do for life. In maintenance, I eat, and I share this all the time, I eat the same way I do in maintenance that I did with weight loss. The only difference is that I can add more treats here and there, and I have more flexibility with eating a little bit more. But I still eat healthy. Majority of the time, I eat healthy food. So you guys, I will make a video next week. Still thinking about a topic. I'm 6 months post-op with my tummy tuck, so I might make something related to that surgery. I don't know, or I might wait until more like 9 months out. But yeah, everything is going well. I am starting week 4 of my half marathon training this week. And like I said, I'm doing phase 3 of 80-day obsession. And yeah, so that's it. My goal is to get under 150, and yeah, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel amazing. And I will talk to you all next week. Bye for now.